Is there a rule for blush application? Are there do's and don'ts about shades, when and how? Intriguing, isn't it? Let's have that discussion.
If you're here, then you woke up today. And that is a blessing. Don't take that for granted. Don't waste it.
Hi there, ladies. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. My name is Lisa Galloway, and this is Beauty from Inside and Out. So today we're going to be talking about blush. I think that's one that kind of gets neglected most of the time. We're always talking about eyeshadow looks, how we're going to do our eye makeup, what choice of lipstick are we going to wear. And yet the central part of our face, which is like our cheeks, we sometimes either neglect it or put too much on and look like a clown. Okay, let me put my hair up just a smidge to get it off of my face. Okay, so I have here a very large palette that I'm going to fill with shades of blush. Okay, now before I even get started, I'm gonna also just let you know these are all cream cheek colors, blush colors, and I have found that as we're aging, oh my gosh, is this the best kind of blush to put on? Cream on so many levels, and we'll keep talking a little bit about that as I kind of fill this palette up. But let's start with kind of do's and don'ts, as I stated, in this video. So we've heard of the rule of we don't want all of our face to be trying to compete for the attention, right? If we're doing a heavier eye makeup, we want to tone it down on the lips. If we're having a bold lip color, then we want to kind of tone it down on the eyes. But somewhere along the line, I think blush kind of gets a little lost in the whole mix of things. So I want to focus on that today and keeping in mind what it is that you're showcasing. So I'm just kind of barefaced today. I have my foundation on and I have just a little tiny shade of kind of a base color for my lids. Kept it very simple because I want the blush to be the statement today. But keeping in mind that if you're wearing a certain color for your lip, how that can impact how that blush is going to look, right? So let's start out with something that's very bold. We're in the holiday season, and of course we can wear these bold colors like red and burgundy and just those nice holiday colors any time of year, right? Valentine's Day is another one. We kind of seem to whip out the reds at that time. But now, since we are in the season of the holiday, I think that's when we tend to wear those red colors because it's the season. And maybe most of us are going to gatherings and parties and what have not. So I've got several shades of red into the darker burgundy colors that I'm going to swatch for you. Now these are all with Seint makeup. Again, it's cream. Speaking of that, as I pull out my very first color, which is going to be a red color. Okay, so here is my first shade of red. And we're going to see on the scale as I put it on the palette, and I'll flip it up so that you can see all the different tones. But this shade of red, and let me put my readers on, it is called Scarlet. So this is Scarlet. We know we think of Scarlet, we think Scarlet Red, right? So beautiful color. Now, some of these will be in the matte side where they bring down a lot of pigment and just have that coloring show. And then there's some shades, and I'll tell you which ones are which, that will be more on the gloss side where you have a little bit of that color, but it's more of a shiny gloss look to them. And when you go on the site to see some of these, It's called, some of them will be called gloss. Some of them will be called, so there's 3 categories. There's a gloss, a semi-gloss, and it's called satin. And so satin, you think kind of silky. Satin will be the more matte kind of color. So keep that in mind when you go on the site, because I know that could be a little bit confusing. So let me swatch Scarlet. So Scarlet is very, very red. And these shades will be very deceiving at times when you're looking at them on the tin. And that's why I wanted to, on top of that, just really swatch them, because when you go on the site, you may think that's a little too dark for me, but you won't really know until you start to blend that shade in. So I'm going to now, as dark as you see that shade, once you start to take your brush and start to blend this out, you start to see how pretty that color is. It does not give that intensity, right? You can bring this down clearly a lot darker if you choose, just keep adding. And that is the beauty about creams, that a powder doesn't allow you, you don't have that control with powder, which why I mentioned that once I was introduced to cream in general as makeup, but even more so when it comes to blush selection, wow, it's endless. Not only can you control how much you're putting on, but you can also mix them. And that's another topic and conversation I can have on another video. But just to show you how different that is from the tin to a swatch to an actual blend. So that one is Scarlet. That's a beautiful color. Now, as I'm sharing all of these shades, the other thing I think that can be, going back to the clownish kind of thing, what I tend to see, especially as our skin texture is different because we're aging, is not only just placement on where that blush is gonna go, and making sure that we are precisely trying to place it on like the brow bone, whereas we used to do it differently. We used to either do it like on the, you know, fatty part of our cheeks, but we've hollowed out some. Everything has shifted, so we need to be very like intentional about where we're placing the blush, right? So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, if I chose Scarlet as a lip color, which is beautiful, I don't want to intensify that shade on my cheeks because it would be too loud, too much. It's easier to start off low, and I love to take a little bit of the cream, like you saw me place my finger on that, and then just tap it onto my cheeks and then blend instead of pulling it up with the brush, because it tends to then pull up a lot. If you're not used to using creams, then you tend to swipe into the tin, pulling too much. And I always say that it's much easier to little by little increase the intensity versus putting too much and then you're feeling like you're having to blend all that out. So that's one of the things also when you are dealing with creams that you have to keep in mind. Okay, so moving along to another color. This one here is another red, okay, and it's called Saffron. So Saffron, and let me turn over now Scarlet. So here's Scarlet, here's Saffron. And if you look at them kind of like, you know, side by side, it looks like Scarlet has a deeper red than Saffron. But let's swatch Saffron next to Scarlet and let's see how different that looks, because again, oh, I took off Scarlet. So let's put Scarlet back on. So here's Scarlet. This is the new one, Saffron. Now, if you can see, Scarlet is more red, pink red, and then Saffron is going into a more burgundy red. Saffron is gorgeous. Okay, so let me do the same and hold on. Use my other side of the cheek too to show how this one's gonna look once it's blended. So again, I take my finger and I just kind of dab just a few dots and take my brush. And by the way, this brush is beautiful for blending. It's called the blend brush with Seint. So again, swirl, swirl, and much easier to build than to put too much on. So this one is saffron. Very pretty. It's got a much more red tone to it than darker, deeper red tone than scarlet, but just as beautiful. So I am going to be removing some of this from my cheeks to get ready for like the next one. And we're gonna start going, I think I have one more that's in the red family before I get into the deeper burgundy, questionable browns that I have. Because again, they look so different on the tin than when you're swatching them. So let's remove this one. I'll speed this up. Okay, got my two swatches. So we're adding now saffron next to scarlet. Let's choose this other one. So here I have now another red, looks red, but let me see what it's called. I immediately know because I'm so familiar with some of these colors. I've had them for a while. Now this one is called, Cabaret. Now Cabaret is our very newest color with Seint. Just dropped about maybe, I would say maybe just under a month ago. Also, we think Cabaret, right? We think just those beautiful reds. So let's swatch Cabaret next to this one, which we said was saffron. So here is Cabaret. Can we see that close up? And with this one, I believe Cabaret, even next to saffron, may be a more truer red than saffron. Either one of these colors would look just gorgeous. Now, I believe also that, I know for me personally, like there are certain colors that that just look better because of like my undertone color, my pigment in general. So keep that in mind. There are some shades, and that's why I'm always willing to help anyone. Just let me know, leave it in the comments that you'd like to go ahead and do a color match, which I would be honored to do for you. And then just help you decide what shades would look good with you. I know sometimes it helps to have like that opinion from someone to give you some selections, and you just didn't even realize that some of these colors may look well, or that they're very attractive on you. So just know that that's available for you. So here I have that new shade Cabaret. Cabaret. All of a sudden it sounds funny as I'm saying it. But it's so pretty. So pretty. Perfect also for that bold lip if you'd like it. It would be gorgeous for this time of year. So let's add that one next to it. Our next newest one is this shade, and this one is called Naomi. Now, I'm bringing it out because before I get into the deeper shades in the red family, when I first looked at this, I thought, okay, it looks red on its own, but if I place it next to the three that I've just swatched, this is a brown. So let me swatch, and then you be the judge on what you think this is. Is it a red? Because here you would tell me probably that looks like a red, Lisa. So let's go ahead and swatch it right from that one I did, and you be the judge of that. What do you think? Could it be a red? Could it be a red in the brown family? There's so many different shades, but you can use this, I say, as a red if you choose to. Stand alone. So again, you know, this is why there's a preference to everyone's liking. Let me swatch. Let me place this one on this side and blend that in so you can see. So again, this was that first one that I just did, the Carabe. Why does that sound so funny now when I say it? Okay, and here we have Naomi. Naomi is so pretty. Okay, here we go with Naomi. Again, almost just like a, I want to say like a flushed red, if that makes any sense. So pretty. Now, when you're placing any of these reds on, and let's say you're going to do a bold eye, right? And we're keeping the lip very neutral, very natural, but your focus is your eyes. Any one of these shades, although right off the bat, if you looked at them off the 10, you would say there's no way. If I'm going to do a real focal on my eye or have a smoky eye, there's no way I would do a red on my cheeks, because we want it to be natural, right? In my opinion, the whole purpose of applying makeup is a better or just a fresher you, right? It shouldn't change the way you look. It should just enhance what you have naturally. So that's why I say blend in, build as you go. You can still wear these warmer reds as long as you keep it almost as a flush look versus the pop that you're looking for. And again, everything has its place. I've always said there's no really rules, although this is a call to do's and don'ts. This is just really kind of helping tweak certain things. We all have a preference on how we love to wear our makeup. So don't take this as, oh my gosh, she said absolutely not. There's just some helpful tips to keep in mind when you're applying your makeup. Okay, so we've hit 4 shades with that last one. Now, let me get into this now red, I think burgundy red, okay? And I don't think I mentioned, so I'm trying to keep in mind of which are some of these that are like the matted ones versus the more with gloss. All the ones that I've mentioned are from the more matted looks. Clearly, you can see there's no gloss. You immediately see the pigment when I first do the first swatch on my hand. Okay, so this one is called, I believe, I got my glasses. Oh, this is Spellbound. Oh, I remember when this one came out, and it was a huge hit. Again, it is, let me remove my cheek color, and once again we'll try to kind of like the magic of videoing is to speed this up. I'm ready for the next swatch on Spellbound. So let's swatch Spellbound, and I am getting a mess here on my fingers. Okay, Spellbound. So this is under that one that looked like orangey red, I said. Now it looks more orangey as I'm placing this one. This one does. Okay, so here is Spellbound. Now we can see that looks deep red, almost like purpley red, but it's still in the different shades of red, right? Like in those darker, and this is definitely a matte. It drops a lot of pigment. So let's put this one on the cheeks. This is a again, and you're gonna see how much more redder this is in reference to like what I have been putting on. Try to get that on there. Okay, let me see that. It's pretty. I really believe that this is like it leans more into the purple family, but still red, deeper burgundy. And because it's like, I feel more in the purple family, right? It's gonna be not as warm as these other reds, because reds for the most part are on the warm side, but this is now almost giving my face a much cooler look. It doesn't warm my face up. So also, depending on your undertone, this may look very different on you. Okay, so Spellbound, gorgeous, gorgeous color. Moving right along, let's go to another red that may be very, very scary and intimidating, because you're gonna be like, I will not wear this on my cheeks. But this one is, oh my gosh, such a beautiful color. Okay, this one is called Black Cherry. Black Cherry. Now this one, I believe, is going to be the first one I'm introducing that is not a matte color. This is definitely a much more glossier color, which of course will be different when it's placed as an application on your cheeks or on your lips. So let's swatch Black Cherry. I mean, you can already see the difference and how glossy that is. With the same swipe, look at that color and that shine. Okay, same thing on now the cheeks. I did this side. And this will have more, again, of a pretty glow to your face. I mean, these all will because they're cream, but this is not going to give you the impact of an immediate dark color because it's a gloss. This pairs really, really nice when you do select, let's say, a matte color in the red family and tap a little bit of this Black Cherry over your, like, let's say even lips. Oh my gosh, it's almost like just adding a tiny bit of a gloss to your lips with a smidge of coloring. It doesn't drop a lot, again, because it's not pigmented. It's on the gloss family. So this one would be under the gloss category when you look it up on the site. So gorgeous. This is a beautiful, beautiful color, Black Cherry. Okay, now I think I have 3 more of these reds. So here we have one that looks very similar to that one, Black Cherry. Now this one is a cult favorite. It goes away. They bring it out just around this time of year, and it is called Ever Red. Ever Red is red. However, it is definitely in the gloss. Now, let me show you the one I just placed, which is Black Cherry. They look very, very similar. Black Cherry, Ever Red. But let me show you the swatch, especially now that I'm going right below the one I just swatched. So this one was Black Cherry. Let's go here now and show Ever Red. Now that is a true red, especially next to that Black Cherry. You can see that the Black Cherry right above is that burgundy red, and this red is a true red, but it's gloss. Okay, so when I mentioned that this saffron up here, if you look, saffron and Ever Red are very similar, but Saffron it's a matted look. Ever Red is red with a gloss. So once again, let me show you, and I need to remove this, so we're going to speed this up again. I'm going to be so raw on my cheeks when I'm done with these swatches. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this Ever Red on the cheeks as a blend. We already saw it swatched, but here is Ever Red. Look how pretty that is. Oh, it is gorgeous. I truly understand why this is a hit and a huge favorite for this time of year. And again, it's dropped every season. Seint drops it every season for this time, and then it's gone at the top of the year. So if you're loving reds, if red is your color and you want something that has that moisture, kind of like glossy look, grab Ever Red. You're going to love this color. And again, you can wear this all year long, but it's truly a beautiful color for this time of year. So I have two more that are on the questionable side for red to like now. Are we pushing more of a brown red? So here we go. This one is called Renaissance. Renaissance is one that I will forget from time to time. I will put her away, and then when I find her again, I'm just like, why have I tucked you away? You need to come and be in my selectable, usable shades. But this is a gorgeous one too. Let me show you now Renaissance. Look how beautiful. Do you see why I say that it's more of the brown red family? It kind of reminds me back into this particular color, but this one's a bit deeper than this one, okay? And we said that this one was, let me see. I think this one was Cabaret. That one shade up here, right? This one here. Cabaret, yeah. So it's very similar, but it's got a much deeper, almost like a burnt brown, but it standalone. It could definitely be a red, right? So let me show you on this side of the cheek where I haven't placed anything. This one is so pretty. Guys, like I said, I will put it away. And, you know, just like with anything, right? When we're going through seasons, we usually tuck away certain clothing that we're not wearing. And so I tend to do that with the shades. I have so many shades because I truly like them all. But there's just certain time of years that I'm just like, okay, I'm not really feeling that right now. Maybe come spring, I'll whip it out again. But this is one that I can truly wear any time of year. It is so gorgeous. Again, this one's called Renaissance. And if you have my pigment, or even a shade or half a shade lighter than my pigment, you're going to love Renaissance. I think you'd love it regardless. And again, this one is matted, so it just dropped a lot of pigment on. Gorgeous. Okay, so let's move on to the last category of my reds, and this one is called, it's right here. See how pretty that is? So this one's called Love Spell. Did I say that earlier? I was off camera and took off my last shade that I have. Love Spell. Yes. Okay, so again, looks almost like another rustic kind of red. So let's put that below. Now this looks almost like a red, again, with a little bit of like that brown, but it's still, I think, red. There's so many different shades of red. This is a gloss for sure. And I'm going to add it here to show you the blend. You can see as soon as I start using the brush, it starts to kind of go away. Because this one is truly, truly, truly so deceiving on the 10 versus when you're applying this on. It's going to give you a glow more than anything else. This is beautiful to add on top of a more matted shade to your lips. Beautiful love spell is the last red. Okay, so moving along, let's go with more of a pink color. And I know sometimes you may say, well, pinks really around this time of year? But think about how chilly it is, right? There's that chilliness in the air, crispiness, and typically what happens, right? When you first walk out and you're out in the cold, our cheeks are an indicator it's chilly out. They get rosy, that rosy kind of color. And that's what I'm trying to aim for when I'm showing you these pinks. Some may be much more lighter, just like we did with these reds. And then there's some that may be even a questionable peachy pink color. So let's get started with the very first one, which is my pinkiest color. And that's this one here. And this one is called Marrakesh. Okay, so first of all, it's another one of the shades that just dropped recently within this a month or so. And it is beautiful, this pink. I could not say this name when it first came out. And I had a wonderful cousin who just loves makeup as much as I do. And she watches a lot of my reels and what have not. And she helped me with the name to this color. So Marrakesh, I think it's beautiful. Let me swatch it. It is definitely on the matte side. So let me go on this hand because I think I'm running out of room. So I should probably have taken off my bracelets, but I never take those bracelets off. Okay, so here's Marrakesh. Really pretty. Now that's a pink. And it definitely has the pigment there. So it's definitely considered a matte, but it's going to say which can, like I said earlier, it could be a little deceiving, right? Because on the site, it's not going to say matte, say satin. But look at that. This is a pretty color. Going back to what I mentioned, right? Like, I think that pinks are so pretty also, like just around this time of year because the chill in the air. And if your cheeks don't normally just get like that flush color, why not add a little bit to it? And it also, again, you're able to control how deep in shade you want on the application because you don't want anything kind of competing with your main focal point of your makeup application. So gorgeous, gorgeous color, pink. Don't shy away from those at all, especially around this time of year. And that is Marrakesh. Okay, so staying with the pink family, let me show you this other pink. And this one, whoops. I think this one's called Pink Grapefruit. Double check. Yes, so this one's called Pink Grapefruit. Much, much lighter than this pink that I have, showed you that I swatched, but let me swatch it next to so that you can see. So Marrakesh, and this one is Pink Grapefruit. This has a much lighter pink, and this is a deeper pink, Marrakesh. So you can see now this pink, I think this one would really be nice with, if I have to be honest, pinks are probably, even though I do have various shades of pink, it will probably be the least one that I usually gravitate to, because I know what works well with me. I do stick to either a very neutral, which we're going to get to very last grouping, or I'll pick some of the reds. But the pinks, for my undertone, for my tone, it will wash me out for sure. So I think that pinks can be difficult to try to select depending on your shade. Now I think I ran out of room, so let me go ahead and remove this and speed it up again. Okay. Try that out, because I wanted to show you how this pink grapefruit is going to look on the cheeks. Okay, so you can see this pink grapefruit is very, very pinky. Okay, in comparison to I already took it off, but the Marrakesh, right? The Marrakesh pink, very, very pink. Okay, so that is pink grapefruit. The next shade that I have, it is also a pink, but now we're leaning into a pink peach color. So this one is called, I believe it's called Strawberry Shortcake. Let me double check. Yes, so Strawberry Shortcake is another new one that dropped also along with Marrakesh and the other two reds that I mentioned. Strawberry Shortcake. So same thing. Let's swatch this pink peachy color under here. Now this one also drops quite a bit of color. Now that is a pink red. I know sometimes it is so, if you are, that's another thing, if you are colorblind, or if you're just not trying to figure out different shades and different tones within that shade is difficult for you, I get it. This is why I think swatching is so much fun, and it's also a way for you to really be able to determine where do you fall in where that aligns best with like your coloring. So again, that last one, this new one, Strawberry Shortcake, is pigment, it's matted, but it's also more on the pink red, right? Look at these three shades of pink, just so that you can see them even in the 10, how differently these all look. They're all in, I consider, pink family, right? But different shades of pink, from pink to a pink peach to a pink red. And yet, if you look at them in the 10 in comparison to a swatch, completely different to even when you're blending them out. Okay, let me go with now a pink that may even look lighter, more of a peach tone to it. And this one is called Pink Lemonade. So this is another one that I consider much more of a pink, truly like a pink lemonade. First of all, that's like one of my favorite things to drink. I love pink lemonade. Drink it all the time. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Splenda. They have a Splenda little juice drink that you can mix in with water. And I tell you, I have been on this kick for months now because I just love like that taste of sweet, but kind of like sour taste, if you know what I mean. So this is, look how pretty. That is Pink Lemonade. This is a beautiful, fun color too, guys. So let me swatch. Let me go ahead and blend this one here on this side so that you can also see how pinky this is blended. And again, fun color for me. I will sometimes even put a little dash of this like on my nose to kind of give like that pinky, kind of like very subtle, rosy but lightly pink color. Like, I think it is so pretty. And again, because pinks are not my particular tone, I try to use it in different formats. I will dab a little bit and mix it with another color, which I said earlier is one of the fun things to do when you are working with creams that you're not able to do with the powder. So don't be afraid of saying, okay, how and when am I going to use this one color? Think of this color with another maybe neutral color, or think of this color maybe with a red of a certain shade, and mix and match and have fun with these colors as you build like your blush palette, right? So that one again is called Pink Lemonade. Love, love, love that color. Okay, now we have this one shade that is pink, but man, is it a pink, light pink, almost pale pink. Now, this one is matte also. I have to, and the way I can tell that, well, first of all, you can read on it, but you can also feel it. When you rub your finger and you have like that very easy slidable feeling, you know that it's going to be more of a gloss. And when you really have to like go a few times, you know that you need to pick up more. That's going to be more of our matted ones, right? Okay, so this one is called, oh, I didn't tell you the name of this one. So let me tell you what it's called. This one's called Audrey. Or I don't even know if this one is available, but you know what? Now that I'm looking at both of these, and they're very similar, since I don't know if Audrey is on the site, let me go ahead and show you this one, which I know is, and this one's called Tiny Dancer. Very similar to Audrey, but because I don't know if it's on the site or not, I want to give you availability so that if you choose to get one of these, you're able to get it off the site. Okay, so Tiny Dancer, let's swatch it down. I'm running out of room to the one above. Now, see how pale pink that is? Almost like a, now this color, for without a doubt, will not go well with my skin tone at all. You would have to be very, very fair skinned to pull this one color off. It's not for everyone, but because creams are so much fun and are so versatile, I have used this in other ways. So let me swatch. Let me put the blush on so that you can see really quickly. If I use that one on my lips, washes me out. If I use it on my cheeks, and I'm going to show you and you're going to see for yourself, it's not the best choice of shade for my skin tone, okay, for my pigment. But you can mix and match, as I said, any of these shades. Okay, number one, but this is how I use it. Let me show you first how it looks like on my cheeks. And now you'll see what I mean about it washing me out. Not the best choice for my skin tone. Almost like a powdery color that looks for me. Okay, the way I have chosen to, how I have used this one, because there's different ways, is I will use this as a brightener in the inner area of like my eyes to brighten out this area, and it works amazing if your skin tone is like mine. And it's just about picking up very, very little and adding that to specific areas, not necessarily under your eye, right? As we're aging, we don't want to have that texture there, but just to brighten the center part of your face, to brighten up that area, right? Gorgeous color. Not for everyone, but you can use it different ways. So that one is Tiny Dancer. Okay, so the last grouping, I know they can be very in the boring kind of section as far as shades, because they're very neutral. They're very, it keeps everything just basic. But I think that there's a space for it, right? Just like when you are doing an eye look makeup, you need your base colors. You need it. You need it in order to have that be the blend color, the standard color that allows you to incorporate other colors. And so I think that there's a beautiful place for these colors. If you are definitely bringing out a statement within your eyes or a lip color that's bold, these are amazing for that use on your cheeks. So again, with further ado, let's go ahead and get into these. This first shade here is called Plum. And it is, again, looking like a basic brown to what I call earthy colors, neutral colors. Okay, so let me go ahead and come down this way. So here is Plum. This one is got a little undertone of purple in this for sure. Okay, I will use this color. I think I ran out of them. I think I have my other side. Let's go ahead and put this color on this side. This is a color I think that really truly will work when your choice of shade for your eyes are going to be more bolder, right? A bold look. But it has that undertone of purple in it. It's a beautiful color. I think any of these shades that I'm going to mention right now are great to have in your palette, so that when you are either wanting to keep things simple and you want a no makeup look, these are the ones you want to grab. Or if you're just trying to keep everything a happy medium because you are either going with that bold lip or bold eye. So this next shade here, this one's called Nude. So this one's actually called Nude. And it looks very similar to the one I just swatched, which we said was Plum. But let me swatch it next to Plum so that you can see for yourself how it looks different than the Plum. Than the Plum. You can tell that this has got, well, first of all, it's under the category of satin, right? So we already established that that is a more, not satin, sorry, gloss. Goes on very smoothly, so it's got more of a shine, okay? And let's check it out on doing an actual look of blend to the cheeks. And might as well take this one out as well. So let's add a little bit of this Nude. It's a pretty color. This one does not have that undertone of purple in it. It is truly the nude that it says that it is. So beautiful color for your lips if you want to keep your lips neutral, or you want to mix that nude or that plum, but more the nude that I just mentioned, with another color, and you'll get a beautiful combination. Okay, moving along. Let's go to this next color, and this one is called Madrid. So Madrid is for sure a more matte. Let's do Madrid down here. You can see how pretty, very, I would say peachy color. But I mean, it's like one of these colors. Madrid is a color, I believe, that it will give you what you're looking for. An obvious, coloring to your cheeks, but it's not screaming, and it's not like I'm here. No, it is subtle, neutral, but gorgeous. So this Madrid is beautiful. When it came out, it was one of the ones that I knew immediately I was gonna like. No surprise here. This is like where I thrive, in these very neutral colors. I'm just all about like those earth tones. That's kind of like my wheelhouse. I just love that on my cheeks. The selection on even on my shadows that I do. Like, it's where I want to be most of the time. So I push myself out of that comfort zone to do the reds and to do the pinks, but this is the ones that I gravitate to all the time. Okay, so moving along, this one is called Bear. This one is very much like nude. So this was the nude, right? We just did this one, which we said was Madrid. So here we have Bear. Bear, in comparison to the nude, is much more lighter. Okay, not quite as light as Tiny Dancer, but it is lighter. So I think this is a real good color depending on your skin tone, right? It all goes back to what just looks best on your skin tone, because when we're putting on these colors, I mean, first of all, they have to be a color that you're attracted to, right? You know how like you'll see some colors right off the bat and you're like, that's me. So that has to be the first pull as far as why you're grabbing any of these shades. But there are just certain colors that just will look so good on your skin tone. And sometimes I understand, like I said, you need a little help sometimes in just trying to find that perfect shade for you. So let me go ahead and put this one on so that you can see also the difference. Now again, this went kind of back to, for my skin tone, like if I'm adding a little bit of like that powdery look, not as intense as Tiny Dancer, but it's still on the neutral, earthy, lighter tone color. And this one is called, again, Bear. Okay, so I have two more. One that's a new recent that was dropped that I have been using on the repeat. I truly love this color so much, and it is because I get to play with another favorite of mine that's a gloss. So it is the new shade called Daylily. So pretty, very neutral, very, very, very earthy. So here is Daylily. Oh, this is like, they made this color for me. Love this color. And you can tell it is very subtle, but you know that she's there. So let me go ahead and place it on this side. I have been using this color not only on my cheeks, but on my lips. And that's my favorite way of wearing this Daylily. But again, talk about knowing that you have that pretty color subtly there and it's completing your whole makeup look. Oh, I tell you guys, if anything, there are some of my favorites. This is one of them. I would grab it because this is one, especially with any of the ones that I've mentioned that were just recently dropped. If you do not get them and you think you'll like them, get them now, because at the end of the season, top of the year, they'll go away. And we don't know if they'll come back. So if any of the ones that you've heard me say, they were just newly dropped, they are not a staple in our selection. they were just out for the season and they may not bring it back. But I have been placing this Daylily on my lips with another shade called Carousel, which I didn't mention because it's not really in the categories that I have, but I am loving that combination. A little bit of lip liner, Daylily, and Carousel, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous combination. Okay, so that one again is Daylily, a new drop. The last one that I'm going to go ahead and swatch, and then we'll wrap it up. I know this has been a really long video, but I really think it's so much fun to experiment with these shades. You know, we can get so kind of stuck in the one blush color that we've been wearing for so long, or it's like, that's my shade, and I get it, but it's so much fun, guys, to try new colors. You know, get out of your comfort zone and try a shade that you normally wouldn't do. First of all, someone will just see, someone that knows you will see something that's different on you, and you'll get the compliments, and you'll just be like, wow, I had no idea that this color was going to be another me color, right? So like, don't be afraid to try something new or build your collection of shades, because who says that we have to stay stuck in one shade forever? No, it's makeup. It comes off, you wash it off, you can try it. If you don't like it, you can always exchange it. And that's another thing too that I didn't mention, but any of the selections that you choose, if you get it and you try it at home and you're like, you know what, this just wasn't me at all, there's no way I'm gonna go ahead and wear this shade, there is a money back guarantee. You have 30 days to get your money back and just say, I don't want this color, or swatch for another. So don't feel like you are, you know, pulled in and you don't have any options once you purchase. If you do that and you want to change it, reach out to me and I'll help you with that. Okay, so the last shade is called Frenchie. And Frenchie is a shade that also I fell in love with when I finally tried it, because some of these shades can look so similar off the tin that when they first come out, I'm like, am I really gonna go ahead and have another shade that looks like that? But they are truly unique and different on their own. And you can see by my swatches that I am telling you the truth. So here is Frenchie. Oh, okay, lighter than the one I just did before, which is my babe, Daylily. But Frenchie is beautiful. Oh my gosh, like another one that will go so well with mixing it with another shade to create your own shade. But as a stand-on alone, okay, I think I did it on this side. So let's go on this side. Another stand-alone shade, beautiful, just beautiful. It just screams neutral, okay, and gorgeous on the lips. If you're wanting, again, that very matted lip because you're going for the dramatic eye, Frenchie is one to have in your staple of shades in your palette. Okay, so that's it. I hope that this has helped you to decide to try some of these colors, to say, okay, and the whole point of this, and most importantly, was the whole thing on these do's and don'ts, right? What is the rule kind of across the board, which really there shouldn't be any rules. I think we tweak certain things. A pop of color on your cheeks when you're deciding to have a neutral eye, a neutral lip, but you want the cheeks to say, I've got some color on today. And then go with that nice, gorgeous, bold red or a beautiful pink color, right? Let that be the statement to your makeup application that day. But then just the opposite would be that if you are making a statement to your eye look or your lip, then keep the cheeks very neutral, very subtle by either choice of shade or because it's cream, pulling it back and not applying so much, right? Control, control, control. And the last is, I think what's been kind of like the trend in this last maybe like month and a half, 2 months now, and that is monochromatic, right? Like using one color all over, which you can easily do with a nuded color, with an earthy color, just keep everything neutral. Or if you want to be so bold and keep it lighter handed, but use maybe a red, there's ways to do that by using that one shade of red for your cheeks, a much lighter red and pulled back on your lips, and the same for your eyes. Keeping the eyes maybe with one hint of that one color, red, let's say if that's your choice, to pull it all in, but have a more monochromatic look. The choices and they're endless when it comes to being able to play with these colors. If you're needing any help at all, please reach out to me, comment, need a little help with selections or what shade you maybe found interesting, if you found any of the ones as you were maybe writing some of these down that kind of just screamed out to you, says, oh gosh, I've got to try that color. So thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe and to share this with someone else who just loves lip and cheek colors or blush colors. I think they'd be happy with all the different selection that Seint has, and I'm here to help you. Until next week, catch you later. Bye.